What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Ratchet and Clank. Well, my God. I just want to jump right into it. The game looks incredible. More than that, even, though, is the release, right? This is releasing somewhere around that PS5 launch window. So that's cool. That's not a release date. See, what that tells me, honestly, is that they hope they can get it out for November, but they aren't going to push it too hard. That if it's not ready to go, they're not going to do it. Honestly, that's kind of how I even see like a Demon Souls thing is. Now, we haven't seen that game in a little bit. We haven't seen like them talk about the release, but if they ever did another trailer or they ever had like a Q&A with the developers, I'd almost guarantee you that they would say kind of the same thing, that it's a launch kind of game. Miles Morales is definitely, I think, designed to be that PS5. Like when you get the PS5, Miles Morales will definitely be ready to go and will be on it. Ratchet and Clank could be that backup that, the PS5 could definitely use, right? It could be the backup that same month. Maybe, though, it slips into very early December. Maybe it slips into, later January, right? We know January can still be a good time for games. Same thing with Demon Souls, and then later on in 2021, you have also Horizon Forbidden West, right? So you have a lot of games coming, but my God, now I said this in yesterday's video talking about Ratchet and Clank. Look, there's not that much I can say about it other than constantly praising it, right? I'm going to keep using probably the same words over and over, and it'll get annoying, so I'll try to cut a lot of that stuff out. The game just looks absolutely incredible. Now, I've been a Ratchet and Clank fan. It wasn't like my number one thing. Like growing up, I was super into Crash. I was super into Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper, if you guys have watched, if you guys have listened to me for a long period of time, you'll know Sly was like my main game. Some people it was Jack and Daxter. Some people it was Ratchet. Some people it was, again, Sly, all these, Spyro, right? So you got a lot of different, PlayStation. You had a lot of PlayStation icons really growing up. But Ratchet and Clank was always a game that I was interested in. The reboot, the one that was also like the movie that was basically the exact same thing of it a few years ago, I love that game. I think that game caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it to be all that good, but visually, these games always look good, and that game was absolutely incredible. Story-wise, it was awesome, and gameplay-wise, it was really good too. It absolutely came back. You know what I mean? Ratchet and Clank came back in a really amazing way, and this game, look, I think what's important with these kind of games is they're not just tech demos. Now, that's what us as like humans are probably going to look at it as, or maybe, and even if you're not a Ratchet and Clank fan, right, that maybe is why you watch the gameplay or watch these trailers for PS5 is, even if you're not into the game, you're seeing, okay, well, how are they taking advantage of the technology, which they've talked about, right? They've talked about how they're going to use the DualSense. They talked about no loading screens in the game. Are you goddamn kidding me, right? That's absolutely insane. That's awesome. And again, that's kind of, it's a good thing. It's absolutely a good thing, right? I'm not saying like don't focus on it, but what you do have to be careful of, and even what I try and be careful of, is hopefully these games are not all tech demos. You look at Infamous Second Son, which to me was a tech demo. Killzone Shadowfall was literally a tech demo. You know what I mean? Yes, there were games. They were games. They had stories. They had characters. They had powers. All this kind of stuff. But in my opinion, looking back at, retrospect, hindsight's 2020, right? You guys have heard that before. In reality, back then, you were getting them because of the game, but you're looking back at them now, it's like, yeah, they did a really good job at showing what the PS4 could do, but they weren't all that great games. And I will stand, I did not think Killzone Shadowfall was an amazing game. I didn't think it was awful. Same thing with Infamous. So for Ratchet and Clank, this game, I think, again, it stands a really good chance of being a very, very good game. It definitely needs to continue to take some positive steps from the last one, from the rebooted part of it, right? But at the same time, yeah, it is going to show off stuff, and the no loading, and I even said this in our Discord when I was watching it, it's like they are doing some of the stuff just flat out to show off. Like when they're going through the rifts and literally you're seeing them go kind of into outer space and they just appear in a new time period, a new area. It's happening so fluid, and it's got the fluidity and the look of a cutscene that we would imagine now. But look, console, like the PS4, maybe could do that, but just barely, and you'd be really, really pushing it. This is what the PS5 can just do as if it's nothing. You know what I mean? So, those are the kind of things that really, I think, are going to impress. Those are, I think, honestly, part of the reasons why they do that stuff. And they even talked about it. The amount of stuff you can have on screen, the fact that you can, like, literally make these worlds very, very lived in, right? You can have a lot of stuff in these worlds you just can't do now, but you can with a PS5. And when you're playing or when you're watching the gameplay, right? When I'm watching the gameplay, and that's absolutely what I was picking, on to what you could see in it, right? Is you could see the worlds are very much like there's stuff going on. There's so much detail in pretty much everything. The ability to switch from one just thing, right? An area to an area, or a situation to a different situation. It's so fluid. And again though, what I want to stress, and even what because I keep going off like this, and I do get excited, and I think it's fair. I think that maybe is why I'm kind of relatable to some people, is because it is definitely fair to get excited, and you can get excited. The thing is, again, going back to the tech demo stuff, I do have to constantly remind myself that it looks good now, it feels good, all of these different things. The game itself, though, does need to be solid, because if the game itself is not solid, it's not going to hold up in a few years. Other games are going to overshadow it. You're going to look back at this game in 5-6 years and say, yeah, it showed very early on what the PS5 could do, but it wasn't a great Ratchet and Clank game, right? And that's the biggest. And no, I'm not saying at all. Don't twist my words here. I'm not saying at all that that's what's going to happen. I think that that's just something we have to be aware of. I think that this game honestly has all of the basically everything it needs to be an amazing game. Insomniac is a top tier developer, right? They've kind of always have been one, but they're working on this game. It looks they really do make some amazing games, Insomniac. So I wouldn't be all that worried. I think this game really would be with Miles Morales. That's kind of why I like the idea of having even like Demon's Souls. These games, I think very early on, which was kind of different than the PS4, they're going to show immediately how powerful the PS5 is, what the PS5 can do, but not just that, but they're also going to be really good games. You know what I mean? Miles Morales is probably going to be really good. Ratchet and Clank, this game, is going to be insanely good, or hopefully, right? Demon's Souls is going to be really good. Horizon, we all hope these games are going to pull it off, and if they do, they'll be saying, this is how the haptic feedback works on the controller. Let's show this off. Let's show off the graphics. Let's show off how well it runs. Let's show off the loading times and the ray tracing and all these different things, whatever they're, focusing on in the game. They're going to be able to do all of those things, and that's so incredible, and we have not yet seen that, I think. PS3 even, there were some cool games at launch, but even again, I don't think they put it all together. They're either way more tech demo-y, or even maybe like a game like Resistance. I mean, I think that game was very solid, but I don't think it was looked at as like the most beautiful game, like it really pushed the technology all that much. So they've never really had it both ways for the PS3 launch or PS4 launch. PS5 could easily be the first time, and Ratchet and Clank is going to be part of that reason, I think. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? You excited for this Ratchet and Clank game? Do you agree with what I'm saying, that with the kind of worry of tech demo versus full-on game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I do a brand new video on this channel every single day. In fact, today there's going to be another one. I'm going to be talking about the Star Wars DLC for The Sims. That's going to be in just a few hours. Got more Gamescom videos on podcasts now as well, but normally one video a day on the channel. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.